you want to use an exfoliator that is spherical. In other words, I'm from the 70s and 80s, and back in the day, I used to use, I don't know if you remember those
The
apricot
apricot,
scrubs.
the
A
apricot
cream,
scrub.
the apricot scrubs.
It was like,
They were
what
like,
were we doing?
it's like chopped apricots, and it's like if you probably looked under a microscope, it's like jagged edges. You're probably causing
Jagged
all these
edges.
micro abrasions.
Welcome back to a session with Rose Prieto, our skin guru from Miami. And when last you saw us, we were talking about all sorts of things, from jowls to, we haven't even touched on
The
the
eyes.
eyes
Yeah.
yet, but
Yeah.
we were talking about skin spots, sunspots, of which I have driver's side really badly. But there are times when you look at your face and you think, when you really look at your face in one of those like 350 magnified makeup mirrors that I have right in front of this computer right now. And it's shocking, like how messed up the skin is from all the sun, I assume. And
The sun is the number one. Sun is the number one reason. The UV rays of the sun, number one reason why collagen and elasticity breaks down in the skin quicker than it should. We're all going to age, right? That's the inevitability of life.
Right.
But, we can sort of slow that down and be proactive about it and age, gracefully, as they say, just by
sunblock. But how do you get rid of them? Or can you?
Okay. So first and foremost, before anything, just like me with I told you I had these gels because I was clenching and I need periodontal surgery. The first thing, get a night guard, and then we'll address the issues later. So same theory, start wearing sunscreen every day of your life. If you are Fitzpatrick 3, 2, or 1, in other words, if you have lighter skin tone, someone that doesn't tan as easily, someone that can even burn, someone that is not like me, does not have ethnic skin, you can wear, so there's 6 levels of skin type. African-American black skin is 6. 1 would be the redhead freckle. So 1, 2, and 3. So the lighter skin tones, and you would be the darkest of that, Kim.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
I think.
Yeah, you're in the middle for sure. You can, in my opinion, you have, you can wear physical or chemical sunscreens. In other words, if you look on the back of your sunscreen, if there's a word that says either zinc oxide or titanium dioxide, it is a physical sunscreen. It is a mineral sunscreen. That's the only type of sunscreen that melanin-rich ethnic skin should be using. And I'll tell you why in just a moment. Any other active ingredients you'll see, like oxybenzone or dimethicone or any chemical word like that, that is a chemical sunscreen, which works fine. They both are broad spectrum. They both protect your skin from UVA and UVD damage. In other words, they are broad spectrum protection. But the thing about chemical sunscreens, the way they protect your skin is that the rays of the sun hit your skin, and then a phenomenon happens in a fraction of a second where there's a heat component that happens, and then it bounces off. So think of a laser light hitting your skin and then bouncing off. That's what happens. But in that fraction of a second, when the heat hits your skin, that can aggravate folks with melasma, like me. If you have melasma, which is another type of hyperpigmentation, melasma can get aggravated. Even you can, absolutely. That sort of like, if you've ever been pregnant, that pregnancy mask.
I've seen people with it on their foreheads.
On their forehead, on their cheeks. It could be other parts of the body. It is a form of hyperpigmentation. Yeah, it's a form of hyperpigmentation, and it is a nuisance. It is a pebble in the shoe to get rid of. And that's a whole other conversation. And to your question in our first segment, can I lighten those spots? Let me just talk about that a little bit. Yes, go to your board certified dermatologist. Aside from wearing your quality, and quality could be copper tone, it doesn't matter. Neutrogena has beautiful. They even have a micronized zinc oxide formula for the face. It's called like sheer face or something like that. Really beautiful formula.
Actually,
it doesn't have
those. I put them all in a basket by our door.
Yeah.
Like
there you go.
Have
absolutely.
Kids using it
and especially if you're in the car a lot, if you're sitting by a window, if you work by a window, always be conscious of where the sun is hitting you. Yeah. I have a towel about this size. It's a white towel in my car. I'm not good about wearing some protective clothing because there are gloves and whatnot. I don't get into all those things. I'm really
live.
You got to live, right? So I keep a little towel in my car. If there's a little spill or something, but really, I'm in Miami, like you said, the left side
Yeah.
of your face. If it's
But
really sunny, I'll drape the towel over my left arm,
I do that.
literally, and I'll be driving like this with the towel draped.
Totally.
And it's so cooling. It's like amazing how much, like, it's,
I,
how the sun,
I have
yeah.
this thing.
There you go.
It's like a light UV thing, and it balls into a little
Yeah,
ball. It's from Uniqlo. It
there you
comes in
go.
white, black, and this. And
Ooh,
I will, when I was driving down to New York, I just had it like
yeah, like that.
over my shoulder. And then I would have a hat. I wear, oh, here it is. This is
Right.
what I turned into my mother. It's very
Yeah.
embarrassing. All those years I gave her shit about
Hey,
wearing
it's very
a hat.
chic and fashionable to wear a hat,
I wear a hat when I'm driving, and I have
Yeah,
this.
I love
I'm
it.
like a
I love it.
weirdo with glasses, but it still doesn't protect this. And
Well, but what's protecting that is your broad spectrum sunscreen. So you know that when you walk out of the house every day, and I'm not kidding, I say to myself, and sometimes, like, you don't plan on leaving the house, but, oh, I got to run to the market for some milk, or,
right,
whatever. Or
right.
think about this. This is what my clients tell me all the time. I don't go in the sun. They think that going in the sun is laying by the pool. And I said,
Uh,
well, they're in my office, right? So I said, well, you drove here, right? You were in the car, you parked your car, you walked across the parking lot. Do you ever walk the dog? Do you ever get the mail? Think
yeah,
about
I
all
mean,
the times. And guess what? Sun damage is cumulative. So, like building blocks, 5 seconds here, 1 minute there, 2 hours there, over time add up. This is why, if I had no makeup on, I look like a leopard with all my deeply rooted spots,
yeah,
which is a whole other conversation, right?
right.
So, are there creams? Yes, there are. Well, in my opinion, the ride or die miracle cream in a jar is a retinoid. It is a retinoid, which is a vitamin A derivative. It is very strong. You've heard of retinol palmates, retinols. A retinol is a over-the-counter version. It's sort of like the cousin of a retinoid. A retinoid is full-on retinoic acid, and it comes in different levels. The
Yeah,
reason why people stop using, for the most part, in my experience, retinol and retinoids is because of the side effects, the peeling, the itching, the burning,
yeah,
right? And that's because they use too much too often. You want to
right.
slowly lean into retinoid use. Start with an over-the-counter retinol, like from a line like L'Oreal or Neutrogena, or these, well-known lines that have a lot of science behind and research behind their lines. These are good over-the-counter products, but there's only so far you're going to go with over-the-counter, right?
Okay.
Someone asked about Sicily Paris, and I did a whole spiel on that. It's a
Yeah,
beautiful line. I love, and I years ago used to wear one of the fragrance. It's from some rose
yeah,
leaf. It's
it's
beautiful.
pretty. Yeah,
It's just such a beautiful quality. There's something to say about ingredients, right?
yeah, I don't know.
And what they do, botanicals and right nature. That's a whole other conversation. But
Yeah,
um,
but
so I've completely like digressed. Like, what was I
I
even
know,
talking
no,
about
I
again?
know. We're
I know. What was I?
But
I was
like, is
literally
there a
talking.
spot remover? Like, you
Yeah.
used to hear about Michael Jackson bleaching his skin or
Yes.
whatever.
Yes. So
Um,
yeah. So there's
that's a
cream.
little
Yeah. So
hardcore.
retinoids. So I was talking about retinoids. Every
Yeah.
day you should be using a retinoid. Lean into it by maybe, let's say, over the counter retinol
You go
once a
on
week. Let's say you start.
first or second.
Okay. Okay. So I'll tell you in a minute.
Yeah.
But in general, start with a retinol. In my opinion, starting around 26, 27 with an over the counter retinol once a week, and then go twice a week. So in other words, let's say you start doing it on every Monday, maybe twice a week start. Let's say Monday and Thursday, let's just say.
Yeah.
A pea size amount for the face, a pea size amount distribute on the face. And I do another pea for the neck and décolleté, right?
Okay.
So just a tiny amount for this that you do not little. I just
This is the over the
dot it all
counter
over.
version, or this
Oh,
is
sure. If you've never used a retinoid before, lean into it slowly by using an over-the-counter version,
over the
right? Twice a week, right? Like
yeah.
a twice a week. They're not expensive, but they're still strong. And if you're good, let's say after, I don't know, 4 weeks, let's say 4 to 6 weeks, gosh, or even less, maybe even 3 to 4 weeks. If those twice a week, my face is fine, I'm not peeling, I'm not itching, then add a day. Keep doing that until you're doing it up to 5 days a week. I have
Okay.
clients that like to use it every day, and I don't recommend it personally because I think that the skin needs 1 or 2 days to regenerate on its own. You don't want too much of anything, and too much of anything isn't good, right? So give your skin 1 or 2 days to regenerate on its own. And on those off days, use other serums that have peptides and niacinamide in it and other good stuff, right? Hyaluronic acid. And so to answer your question from a moment ago, when you do apply your retinoid, because this is the problem, People start, oh, I'm gonna start using retinoids. They use it every day. They slather it on their skin. They use it every day. No, like, of course you're going to stop using it. Of course you're going to hate it. So if you think of a sponge that gets dry, right? So a sponge is dry, so let's pretend you have that dry, crusty sponge that's in your sink, and you put soap on it. You're going to wash your dish. It's not going to be effective because it's dry, right? What do? You have to reconstitute the sponge with water, and then you put the soap on. And then, so think about that visual. Same fear applies for the face. Anything that you put on your face, even foundation. I love beauty blenders because I wash them every day. Anything that you put on your face that's wet, you always want to make sure you clean every day, which is a whole other conversation. You never want to touch your face unless you've just washed your hands. You always want to avoid bacteria on your face. So even if, for those out there that are listening that have children, that have teens with acne, bacteria is a seed that causes acne. So sometimes a simple game-changing advice that's free of, don't use a towel to dry your face. Use a tissue to blot your face dry after you wash it. Don't touch your face throughout the day. If you break out around your nose, make sure that you have, alcohol, you clean, you keep your glasses clean. In other words, a phone, anything that touches your face, make sure it's perpetually, constantly clean. You don't want any bacteria to touch your face ever. Washing your pillowcases. That's something no one ever thinks of. Gosh, if your teen has acne, how often do they change their pillowcases? If it's once a week, maybe you need to change it every other day. If it's, that kind of thing, right? So these are basically changes in lifestyle habits. It doesn't even cost money. It's not about the cheese on your pizza or the chocolate. That's not causing your acne. It's about the bacteria that is touching your face. So I'm going to stop there because that's a whole other,
huge. And we're going to
we can talk about for an hour. Yeah,
You'll do
there's
that.
adult acne too.
Yeah,
there's adult acne too. Right. Absolutely.
Adult acne. That is definitely worth talking about, because I remember some of my family members getting that post-menopausal.
Yep.
Or maybe it was peri.
That
is a very
it's usually hormonal. Usually there's a hormonal base. And I'm an electrologist as well. I haven't practiced since COVID, but I see a lot of other hormonal issues that manifest in hair. So a lot of, excessive hair growth on the chin and other parts of the body. And that could be, polycystic ovarian syndrome or other hormonal imbalances. Again, another conversation, but your body tells you something's happening. Like, oh gosh, why is this happening? Why do I have acne on my chin? Maybe it's just something as simple as having your doctor putting you on, birth control pill or spironolactone or something that's an easy solution.
I have a kid on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to come back to it.
I get Accutane asked all the time, which is isotretinoin, which gets such a bad rap, but it is a game changer for skin. So we'll talk about that another day.
Accutane, and it was very not what we wanted to do, but it was, and I don't know what happened. Like they just had, but it did. Knock on wood, it has.
It does. There's a lot of side effects with drying, chapped lips and whatnot, but you just kind of get through it. And sometimes it cures it forever. It's like, and then you just develop habits that I give all my clients from 0 to 100. Don't touch your face throughout the day. Use a tissue to blot your face dry. That kind of thing. That is a game changer, especially if you're using the towel that you've just dried your body with, or that's next to the sink. That is infested with bacteria, unless it is a one-time use. Bleach washed. Yeah. What you do is you put little box of tissues. I like the cheap tissues. I like the store name generic because
they're not all
the fancier tissues.
Or
right. Like if you go to a hotel and you use their tissue, it'll stick to your face. So the cheaper tissues, they don't stick because they use blot. And I put it in a pretty little container, accessory next to your sink, and you get 1 or 2 blot dry and throw it away. You're ensuring you're controlling what is touching your face. You go outside right now and the atmosphere is full of pollution and dust. And those are all, pollutants, right, that get into the cell, which is, let me talk about that just for a few seconds. So you heard of, you hear of antioxidants. Oh, let's eat blueberries because it's antioxidant, and there's skincare that has antioxidants in it, exact, right? Because it fights free radicals. Right. So you go outside, the sun, the UV rays is the worst free radical. And then there's pollution and environmental stuff, right? That we, CFCs and all that other crap in the environment, that all penetrates into the skin cell. I can tell in 1 second if there's a smoker. If I have a new client, I can tell it in a second that they smoke. And I never ask because it's personal unless they tell me or I smell it. But I could just tell, number one, by the way their skin looks, and number two, by the way the pigmentation is, because they have
Oh,
sort of like a darkening of their pigmentation. Because what smoking does is it asphyxiates the skin cells. It like suffocates the skin cells. Skin is very simple. It is a well-oiled machine. It is our largest organ. It doesn't need much to thrive and be beautiful. But the two main things that it needs to be amazing, like you want amazing skin, you want it to be acidic, and you want it to be oxygenated. You want oxygen in your skin. So think about it. Oxygen gives us life.
yeah.
Now that there's these devices that you could, get for your home, and there are oxygen
Right.
chambers, and,
Right.
there's bars where you get oxygen, oxygen is life, right? Think about it. And so if you think of your skin like a screen on your window, like the window behind me,
Yes.
there's a screen. If that screen gets crusty over time and debris, and it's hard for air and water.
Yeah.
If I put a misting hose on it, water can't flow through because it's
Right.
it's impacted.
Locked
But if
up.
I took a scrub brush, right, Brillo pad, and really clean that screen, and now all the holes
Yeah.
are completely clear. Now air can freely flow in.
Right.
Same theory applies, right? Which is
Yeah.
why we need to exfoliate often, at least 3 times a week, in my
Yeah.
opinion, with a physical exfoliator, like a granular exfoliator. I
Mhm.
like Clinique 7-day scrub. You want to use an exfoliator that is spherical. In other words, I'm from the 70s and 80s. And back in the day, I used to use, I don't know if you remember those
The
apricot
apricot,
scrubs.
the apricot
Capri,
scrub.
the apricot scrubs.
It was like, what
They were
what
like,
were we doing?
it's like chopped apricots, and it's like, if you probably looked under a microscope, it's like jagged edges. You're probably causing
Jagged
all these
edges.
microabrasions.
And then
So you need to
what
be,
was then we put the astringent on
yeah, sea breeze. I would put
Seabreeze.
sea breeze. I would even use alcohol. I would use isopropyl, like 70% alcohol. I
Oh wow,
remember like
Seabreeze.
my face burning, but I thought that burn was good. Like I would put Noxzema. There was this like white, like
Yeah.
menthol
Yeah.
cream, Noxzema,
That
and
kind
I
of
would get a scalding hot washcloth, and I would
yeah.
put it on my face, and then it would be like a death mask, because all my makeup, it was like the worst thing. But I was always interested in skincare, but we weren't educated. We didn't have the
Right.
YouTube and all the education and the
No.
blogs that we have now. But this is why you and I are here right now. We're educating the
So much
public, right?
to know.
And we live and learn. And I am the poster child for turning around damage. I still have a lot of deep rooted damage, but in terms of texture and even
Yeah.
scarring, because I had acne in my 20s, by the way, my early 20s. And that's when I started using Retin-A, was in 1990, around that era. And ever since then, so I've been using retinoids for almost 30 years.
Wow.
And even now, even like right now, my neck is recovering. This used to be all like crusty, like 4 days ago, because sometimes I get a little carried away with my neck retinoids,
Yeah.
and and then it's like, it's really itchy and red, and it gets a little scabby. And then now it's so smooth. It's like new baby skin right here. It's so soft if you felt the skin right here.
So
The point is,
how did you get it so soft and lovely?
because it burned I use so much, because this is why people stop using it, because of the itching and the burning. And if you use so much, it could actually like burn your skin. And
Yeah. No, it
I mean,
flakes, right?
this is thinner skin over here on the neck. So
Mhm.
sometimes this
Yeah.
happens maybe
It
like
looks
twice a
amazing.
year. Twice a year, I'll get I'll feel it. It's like a scab, because because I burned my skin from the retinoid.
Yeah.
But then I'll just put Aquaphor on it. That's all you need, is just Aquaphor, and not go in the sun. It's something Aquaphor, and that should be in everyone's
Yeah,
arsenal at home.
Aquaphor is a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it really, even if you have like a chemical peel or something, you have a little burn, Aquaphor is great. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. My husband did a procedure in the dermatologist's office, and he came home with this Aven cream. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
How much is $30? I'm like, why? You could have used Aquaphor, and I have it. And it's like $7 in the drugstore. You
Right.
didn't need
Right.
the Aven cream. Of course, dermatologists are businesses too. So don't be seduced
Like
into
Sudafil, or
purchasing
is it Suda?
Cetaphil
Cetaphil or
cleanser. That's a great
no,
one. Yeah.
what's it called? The ones all the dermatologists.
SkinCeuticals.
SkinCeuticals, yeah.
Okay, that is a great line though. And I have to tell you that, and earlier, a moment ago, I was talking about antioxidants, and when you're going out to the pollutants, all that goes into the skin cell, so think about your skin right now, right? The largest organ, it's well oiled. It doesn't need much. It needs nutrition. So we need to nourish our skin, right? Eating well, eating nutrient rich foods, not bad diets are horrible. Smoking, things like that are not good for the skin, right? So it needs to be nourished. It needs to be hydrated. So we need to drink water. We need to put on, creams and hydrating, plumping things to keep it like the sponge plump. Think of a dry sponge versus a plump sponge, right?
Yeah.
And we need to keep it protected from the sun. Those are the 3 things we need. And then keep it oxygenated and and acidic, right? Healthy skin is acidic, right? About 0.5 on the scale. Forget about the chemistry scale, which, by
Yeah.
the way, Lessons in Chemistry, if you haven't read it, is amazing. I love that book. Yo, please read Lessons in Chemistry. I need Elizabeth Zott in my life right now, who's the character. I highly recommend. But
you're the fifth person who's recommended that. So I gotta
read that. Gotta read it. That's a whole other combo. But forget about that. Just know that if you cleanse and tone your skin twice a day, cleansing with a face specific cleanser. In other words, don't use the same detergent that you're washing your clothes with on your face, because it's really alkaline. It's very alkaline.
Or anything like that.
Right. Or soap. I mean, like some dermatologists are even like, oh, whatever's in the soap dish. No, because those are more alkaline than you want.
Yeah,
you want something specifically formulated for the face, because it's not as alkaline, right? And then to get it even more acidic, after you cleanse, you always want to tone. I've toned for 30 years. I learned that trick actually as a theater major in college in 1990, because I was a stage makeup minor, so I've always been into contouring and makeup, and that's when I learned that trick from my theater makeup professor. And as now a licensed esthetician, electrologist, absolutely toning gets your skin more on the acid side. So as long as you're cleansing with a face specific cleanser that you like, whatever makes you happy, and then you're toning. I like to use Thayer's Witch Hazel. I've used Thayer's Witch Hazel, the rose water. For like 20 years. But, once in a blue moon, I'll grab my daughter's, Neutrogena salicylic acid toner if I want a little bit more acidic, and that works great as well. But just by cleansing and toning, you're getting your skin to the pH, right, that it needs to be. And then as you're sleeping, the skin is a well-oiled machine. When you wake up in the morning, your skin is at the optimal pH. But what happens? We have all that skin that's turned over at night, all these dead skin cells that's accumulated. You need to cleanse as well. So really, we're in theory, we're knocking our skin out of balance, right? Like off whack in the morning, but it's essential.
After the toner, because I'm sure someone's going to do this,
right?
Then and then it kind of dries or whatever. Then what do you do?
Okay, don't let it dry. This is
don't let it dry.
Well, okay, no. And sometimes like you're doing something else, like, the phone rings or whatnot, and then it does get dry. So I personally like to reconstitute it with more toner. I like to get you could even do water, just sprinkle water on the face. I like to order rose water from, and it's not expensive. I could give you the name, from Turkey. It's just pure rose water. I put it in a spray bottle. I love rose water. Sometimes I put it in my hair, and I'll just so when my face gets dry, when my face gets dry, before my skincare, I reconstitute it with rose water. But you could just do water. The point is, it's more anything that you apply to your skin, any cream or serum, retinoid, anything, even makeup, is going to go into the skin better when you have a moist, a damp environment versus dry. Again, think of that dry sponge. And so you're cleansing, you're toning your faces. So let's say in a perfect world, you're doing everything right now, like no interruptions. So your skin is already now damp, right? Moist. Then you're going straight in with your treatment. So this is the order of skincare. This is really important. So everything has a molecule, right? This phone, right, is like a molecule. I'm not Elizabeth Zott from Lessons in Chemistry. I know, like I talk to about like these people. Like I love reading so much. It's like these are real people, but I need her in my life. I really do.
Read that.
Oh, please, we have to talk about that after.
I can't wait.
Such a heroine. She's such an empowered woman, empowering and inspiring. But anyhow, so everything has a molecular structure, right? What you want for skin is something that has such a small molecule. Again, think of your skin like that screen. How big is that screen? Will a golf ball fit through the screen hole? No. But will a microorganism that you could see under a microscope fit through that screen hole? Yes. In other words, you want something with a molecular structure so small that it'll penetrate through your skin, through the screen holes, into the mitochondria of the skin cell. This is the skin cell. In the center is the heart, the mitochondria of the skin cell. Why retinoids? The reason why retinoids are so amazing and such a game changer, that retinoic acid that comes from vitamin A, is because it gets into the mitochondria, creates mitochondrial change in the skin, and it actually changes the DNA of the skin for the better. It creates new skin. That's in a nutshell why retinoids are such a game changer. Now, you've heard of vitamin C serums.
Yes.
Retinoids are always used at night. Vitamin C, which is a treatment. In other words, that's the first step, right? That's your first treatment. In other words, think of molecule treatment. In other words, I'm applying this product because I need to have this change happen. So for example, I want to use my retinoids because I want to lighten my hyperpigmentation. I want to firm my skin. I don't want the fine lines. I used to have acne scars, but 30 years of using retinoids, I don't have them anymore because over time, I've slowly built that collagen up and it's sort of filled in like putty, like when you have your handyman fill in, little holes in your
Yeah.
wall.
Yes.
Same theory applies, right? The collagen fills up like putty. So first you're going to put on the retinoid, but because it's so strong, I always recommend mixing the retinoid with a little cream or serum,
Okay.
or putting on your cream or serum. So in other words, whatever that next step would be. So let's talk about that. Think about it. What do you think the next step in terms of micro molecule size is? Would it be a serum or would it be a cream?
It
Cream is
sounds,
thicker, it's
it
heavier.
sounds
A
like a
cream is made
serum.
more to sit on the skin, right?
Yes.
A serum is more made to, you put it on and it disappears. Your skin drinks it up, right?
Okay.
So what I like to do
Yes.
personally,
Yes.
now you can mix your retinoid with a cream. It doesn't matter. The cream is not going to upstage the retinoid because the cream, which has a huge molecule, which is made to sit on top of the skin. Think about it. You put on your creams. Oh, my face feels so soft because it's sitting on your skin. It doesn't
Right.
penetrate into, because that's not what it's made to do, unless it has other ingredients that it's made to do. Maybe it has some encapsulated thing that does something else. But for the most part, a night cream, a nourishing cream, an emollient cream, its job is to occlude the skin, sit on top of the skin like a raincoat, protect it, keep it hydrated, keep it moisturized like a wet sponge or a wet blanket that sits on your face all day and all night long, right? Now, what goes underneath the surface in terms of cellular change, like, fixing and renewing my skin, fading that hyperpigmentation, filling in those lines, that is small molecule. That's treatment. That's a treatment. Your treatment at night is a retinoid. But again, to alleviate those side effects, a game changer is mixing it with a cream, but I like to mix it with my serum, which would be that step 2 in the process. I
You
always
have
like
like
to
a
use a
pea
serum,
size of
a
each.
pea
You have
size. I
a pea
literally put it in
size
the
of
palm of my
each.
hand. I put
Yeah.
a pump.
Mm.
I love Clarins double serum. I cannot live without, and it's under $200. It's not breaking the bank, but it's not Sicily, right?
Yeah. No.
It's an investment, but it is the best product. I make them so much money because that's the serum that I recommend.
Yeah.
Lately, I've even started wearing it in the day under my makeup. It's so hydrating. When I wake up in the morning, my skin is so dewy and supple and luminous. It's so good. I
Oh,
don't
it's
even really know
great.
what's in it. It's
Yay.
so good. Like I've been using Clarins since college. They have an
I
oil
like
called
Clarence. Yeah.
Lotus oil. I'm partial to oils at night in
I like,
terms of
right.
it depends. If you like a cream, you wear a cream. You don't have to. I'm putting that in quotes because you do whatever you want. But in theory, the skin doesn't need a night cream per se. I like the feel of presence on my skin. And some people with really dry skin, they have to put that cream on because or else they don't like the feel of the tightness.
Right.
But in theory, what you need on your skin at night are the treatments, are, the retinoids and the peptides and the lipids and the, hyaluronic acid that a serum would deliver. You really don't need a night cream per se, unless you want to, right?
Yeah.
So I just want you to know that. But again, it makes me happy. I like the act of putting it on. I like the way it feels.
Yeah.
And I'm partial to oils. So I'll put
Right.
2
I
or
like
3 drops
oils
in my
too.
hand and I just
Yeah.
press it in my face. And that
Right.
oil, especially if you live in a cold climate, because again, we
Yeah.
could talk for
Up
another
here.
3 hours. It depends on where you live in the country or the world, because in South Florida, it's so humid. Like right
Yeah.
now, I'm sweating in air
It's
conditioning.
humid here
It's so
now,
humid
but normally I'd be a
because you're
dry
in Boston in the
room.
summer.
Yeah.
But if you are in, let's say, Arizona
Right.
or Las Vegas, where it's really
Right.
arid, or in the winter in Boston, where you have
Yeah,
a heater
very
and it's a
dry.
very dry atmosphere, that
Mhm.
atmosphere that's dry is going to suck the moisture out of your skin.
Right.
So you need
Right.
to wear something that has you've heard of the term like hyaluronic acid, for example.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
humectant. Honey is even a humectant. Glycerin
Oh,
is a
my
humectant.
daughters are
That's
using honey for if they get acne or something, they put honey on
so
it.
good. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, like honey's great. Especially the not maracuja. If you said it, there's
Oh,
a
that
fancy
begins
honey
with an
that's really
M.
expensive.
Yeah.
It begins with an M. It's
Macanuba
really
or
good for the skin.
something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and
And Whole
it's
Foods
too
has
sticky for
that.
me, but Yeah.
But wait,
Even,
but wait,
castor oil is a
we still
humectant.
have
Yeah.
to circle back because I think we have
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
to the spots. So it sounds like
Yeah.
retinol will
Yeah.
eventually, like if I use
It's the
retinol,
number one.
it may diminish
Okay. Well, what's going to fade your spots is number one, you're applying sunscreen to protect your skin so that you don't get more spots,
more
right?
spots,
So you're,
but the
you're not
ones
going
I
to get
have
more. And then, right. Okay. So you definitely have to start right away with the
right
sunscreen,
away.
period. Okay. Right away.
You only have
But
10
your
minutes left.
treatments are going to fade your spots. You have morning and night treatments. The night treatment, we talked about retinol or retinoid. That over time will definitely fade your spots. Yes, absolutely. Come to me in a year of using it perpetually up to 5 days a week, and then let's have this conversation.
Okay. No, I think I'm
However,
going to do that.
what about a morning treatment? You have a treatment in the morning, and a game-changing treatment in the morning is a vitamin C serum. Right. Vitamin C serum. So in my opinion, the only two ride or die, like these are like, you cannot live without these treatments, is a vitamin serum. Okay, so again, we've washed, we've cleansed and toned. We're just getting our canvas clean. Cleanse and tone morning, cleanse and tone night. Now our canvas is ready to receive treatment, right?
Yes.
If it's gotten a little dry, reconstitute it with some water, rose water, your toner again. You want it damp, your skin to be, lightly, moist. So in the morning, your treatment is going to be a vitamin C serum. It's the first thing that you put on. Now, vitamin C breaks down in oxygen, right? So when you buy your serums, you'll notice that they come in amber bottles. Sometimes they come in sealed containers because it breaks down in oxygen. You don't want something that oxygen, you don't want it to become contaminated with oxygen so much. So don't be like, just use it liberally because it's only going to last you 3 months anyway, because it's going to become inert after 3 months.
That's such a good point. I did not know that.
So I have my cousin who loves, and I love going to TJ Maxx and Home Goods, and I love it.
Right.
It's a lot of the accessories in the background are from there. But when it comes, and I'll even get like a lot of those fancy hand soaps in my office. I have the most beautiful hand soaps, and my clients think I'm so fancy. It's really because I bought it at TJ Maxx for like $10, Yeah. But when it comes to skincare, you got to be careful, because I see every time I go to TJ Maxx and Home Goods, I see, vitamin C serums, and how long has it been on the shelf? Has it been exposed to light? Have people opened it up? It's not going to be, so even if it's $1, it's not going to do you any good.
Right.
And there is a product that I used to recommend. I still do. It's called, oh gosh, it's not The Ordinary, that's a nice line too, which is very inexpensive line. It's called, oh gosh, it'll come to me, but it's about $25 for a bottle of vitamin C serum. But nothing compares to SkinCeuticals vitamin C serum with, I forgot what's the name of it's coupled with, let me look it up, with the reason why it's so expensive, it's like $175 a bottle. Skin. Oh gosh. The name of the acid.
Oh, hydrocolonic? No.
No, hold on. SkinCeuticals vitamin C serum. And look, immediately Google gave me dupe. Like, you want a dupe? No, we don't want a dupe. Okay, here we go. With ferulic acid. So when you combine ferulic acid with vitamin C, it creates, it's more efficacious. Like it creates, it's better. It works better. And they're the ones that pioneered that sort of combination. Mm-hmm. So this one, hold on, let me see if Google tells me that I recommend, that also has ferulic acid in it. It's vitamin C and ferulic acid. Vitamin C serum with ferulic acid. And if not, then I'll get it. Oh, there we go. Is it? No, not Paula's Choice. Oh gosh. Oh, here we go. Oh no. Oh, Timeless. I'm glad I Googled it. Yeah. There's a line called Timeless, Timeless. You go on their website. I don't recommend getting things like that on Amazon, because you don't know if it's an imitation. Again, you don't know how long it's. When it comes to things like that, I don't recommend getting it on Amazon. Right. Yeah, I would definitely get them from the website. And many times it's even less expensive on the website. But especially products like, quality products like vitamin C serum, you want to get them from either, your dermatologist, but in this case, because it's over the counter, Timeless. They have a vitamin C serum with ferulic acid.
Okay.
So if you've never used vitamin C serum, start there.
The the cream, or
no, that's a great question. That's your treatment. Again, a treatment goes first. That's it. In
So
other words,
toner, then
a
that.
cleanse tone, vitamin C serum. You don't need to mix that with a cream or anything because vitamin C is not going to irritate your skin at all.
Yeah.
The reason why I say at night, your treatment with retinoid at night to mix with a serum or cream is because that can be irritating to the skin. It's very strong. I've been using retinoids for 30 years and I still get peeling and itching. So, eventually this is what, have you ever been to the gym for the first time in like a year?
Yes,
and it's like, oh,
sore.
I can't sit down. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But then over time, like, it's like nothing. Same, like your skin needs to adapt, just like your muscles need to adapt if you haven't been to the gym in a while. However, sometimes let's say you're working a new part of the body. Ooh, that's a muscle I didn't know I had, kind of thing.
Right.
So I still, like I said, last week, this was all crusty.
It seems like
too much.
All worth it.
Yeah, but the point is, like, don't, be proactive,
Right.
and just use a pea size and mix it with a serum or your cream. And, then use it up to 5 days a week. And that's the issue that is game changing, in my opinion, that people don't do. And this is why they stop using it. And then they complain about things that the reason why they have it is because they don't use a retinoid. And you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So your treatment in the day is vitamin C serum. And this is what vitamin C does.
Day.
What vitamin C does is also, and again, you do get what you pay for when it comes to vitamin C. Many times things like, I love this lipstick I'm wearing. It's from Milani. I love it. I have like 5 of them with the same color. I love Milani. It's over the counter. It's like, I don't know, $12.
Yeah.
But so that's an example of drugstore. Great.
Yeah.
But when it comes to vitamin C serums, in my opinion,
yeah,
and Timeless is an exception because it's like Timeless is a great price point, but it's like they there's no middleman. You go from the website, like they're their own. I don't know much about. I don't know much about them.
So we have to write this stuff down.
Highly recommend Timeless.
I think we have 3 minutes and 40 seconds left.
Okay, so let me tell you what vitamin C serum does, because this is a game changer, because most people don't. What vitamin C does, it also has a small molecule. It'll penetrate into the skin cell, just like what a retinoid does. It gets into the cell, and it protects it like, think of a koala bear hugging a tree. Yeah. Or like a mother protecting its child.
That's a good image. That's a lovely image.
It protects the skin cell. It puts a barrier around the skin cell. So this is the skin cell. It puts a barrier so that nothing will get in. No antioxidants, UVA damage, pollutants, the environmental dust, whatnot, does not get into the skin cell, because it's those antioxidants that get into the skin cell that creates aging, that accelerates aging. Those antioxidants that get, those free radicals that are in the environment. When it gets into the skin cell, it breaks down the skin cell. That accelerates aging. So the simple act of applying a daily vitamin C serum protects that skin cell. Oh, but however, there's a bonus, because vitamin C has a bonus that it also lightens hyperpigmentation. It does too. It's 2 in 1.
That's the full circle. And we didn't actually answer the question of, and we have 2 minutes left.
So do that.
So there's that.
Do the vitamin C serum in the morning, do your retinol, and then lean into the retinoid at night until you're doing it up to 5 days a week.
Yes.
And then do that diligently. In other words, just like you brush your teeth every day, twice a day or more, you wash your hands. In other words, it's a perpetual habit. This is called the school for perpetual maintenance.
It is.
If you care what you look like, then it has to be a perpetual habit that you need to adopt if you care. Now, there's people in my family, my mother included, she doesn't care. She has bags. Mom, please, plastic surgery. We didn't talk about blepharoplasty, which is also a game changer. Yes.
That is next.
So yes, this is genetic.
We're going to have to wrap this up because they're going to cut us off.
Okay. But that's a great foundation. That's a great foundation. The great foundation is adopt morning and night, cleanse and tone, and then adopt your treatment. Adopt your vitamin C in the morning, your retinoid at night. And and then of course after your vitamin C serum, then you put on your moisturizers with your SPF. You could okay. So that's, and then live your life.
Right.
And then at night you could put on your oil or nothing, live your life. However, one last thing that I have to mention is under eye area. The under eye area is a separate part of the face. Yes. This is separate. It does not have oil glands under the eyes. There's no hair follicles, because the oil glands live in the hair follicles, and it's the thinnest skin on the human body. Right. It's thin, dry skin. It's perpetually exposed to the sun. It's vulnerable. We're rubbing. Where do we first age? Around the eyes. So you always want to make sure that after your treatments and after your morning and night, you're always wearing maybe the same eye cream. It doesn't have to be fancy. I love the Neutrogena Hydro Boost, which has hyaluronic acid in it.
Got to use it, right? Got to use it right here. And what about here?
Okay, I don't like it on there because of I'm oily, and so it'll irritate my eyes. Is we have
Ah,
oil glands here, so it's not as necessary. But
okay.
I get Botox, and I find that Botox does lift my eyelids, even though
Oh,
I do
that
have
is
subsiding skin, and that's
that's
100% genetic. You were saying?
well, that's a bit of the whole thing about like having the eye surgery, but Botox can kind of
Yes,
offset it a bit.
100%. Just like
Right.
Botox is proactive in facial lines,
Yeah.
Botox can also be proactive. And I have been using Botox since I was 40, and I'm 54 now. That